Before we start today's episode, we have a job opening to tell you about. Raceline and Associates are looking for a Director of Operational Services. The role would involve managing the operational services group involving projects start to finish, ensuring that the project or product provided is accurate, correct and on time. For more information and to apply, visit the job section part on our website, metalpackager.com.
Hello and welcome to the Metal Pack Pod, the industry's leading podcast for the global metal packaging market. The Metal Pack Pod is brought to you by the Metal Packager, the number one digital resource for the global metal packaging market. With over 7,000 monthly users in over 150 countries globally, be sure to check us out on metalpackager.com. I'm your host Alex Fordham, and in today's episode we welcome Intralox's Jasper Joosten, Global Account Team Leader for its container business for the CPG team. Before joining Intralox 1 year ago, Jasper has developed international sales and management experience in roles as a global account director and commercial director in leading OEMs for food processing, packaging automation, and robotics and dispense solutions while working with the multinational players in the food and beverage industry globally. During this episode, we discuss Intralox's global expansion, which includes a relocation of its European headquarters to a larger facility in Amsterdam to accommodate current and future growth. The new facility allows for more efficient processes and enlarged production capacity by utilising very narrow aisles in the warehouse and increasing the production area by nearly 3,000 square metres. This additional space improves setup for modular plastic belting assembly and fosters an environment for continued growth of thermo drive and activated roller belt technologies. We also speak about the current state of play in the global container business, and Jasper has his views on the current trends we expect to see in the industry. Before we begin, we must give special mention to our sponsors PPG. Their range of innovative and sustainable solutions help protect and beautify the world. Now on to today's show. Good afternoon, Jasper. How are you?
Yes, very good. Thank you, Alex.
Been looking forward to this trip. I know you guys have celebrating the new launch of this facility, but that's also in line with some restructuring and some look ahead at some exciting times at Intralox. So good timing coming in the day after your launch party. So how was the launch party yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, yesterday was a great event with some music and some drinks and with all the team here internally from Intralox. Quite a big delegation from the US. And yes, it was really a nice occasion to come together and celebrate not only that we are in this new building, but also it was especially about the work that has been done by all of the different teams within Intralox during the past years, to be able to arrive at the point to have this celebration to open the building, which has been a result of all the efforts that has been made during the past years.
So it sounds like this is kind of the crux of the Intralox vision during the last few years. So yesterday wasn't just about a building per se, but it's also about the work and the success of Intralox during this period.
Yes, exactly. I would say it is about having the opportunity with new ideas and the progress from these ideas, which finally have resulted in coming to this new building. I've only been here since a year, but it was very nice to see the combination of people that have been since many years in Intralox, people that have come in new recently, coming together, and all this talent within the same company and now facility. That was really nice and beautiful to see.
Excellent stuff. What's your overriding take on the can making industry so far? I know you're a relative newbie, but certainly when first joining the industry, when someone said, you're talking about cans, and what is there even an industry for this? And it's when people can't quite grasp that there's a huge industry involved with putting a Coke can on the table. But when you delve into it, I suppose I'm biased, but it's a fascinating industry. So I'm just curious about what your take is on this wonderful world of the can making industry.
It's quite impressive because I never realized before joining the can industry that it's about so many different plants. I come from 10 years working in the food processing and then in packaging automation. So I've always been on the industrial side. But can making it's a very specific world. A few players with a lot of plants globally producing cans, which is a very specific process and where a lot of people have dedicated their lives to during the past tens of years. And it's very good to become a part of that. And what I see is that there are a lot of people that have been in the industry since a long time. They are going towards the age of retirement. And it's beautiful to see that sometimes they are really happy to see new people coming in and want to help you, even if you are not working for the same company, to help you on board in the industry, because they see it as an opportunity to hand over that industry to which they have dedicated their working lives. So far, to say my entrance in the can industry, I'm really happy to be part of this world.
You mentioned there about succession planning within the industry, getting new people into the industry. That's perhaps something we could touch upon later, but just want to focus on the new facility and vision for the Intralox brand as a whole before we get into the nitty-gritty of the container market and where we are as well. So if you can perhaps just provide a bit of an overview on the vision for Intralox moving forward, and particularly with yesterday in mind as well, with some key attributes that we can see from this fantastic new facility.
Yes, to say in this new facility, which is very close to Schiphol, as we were before, but the production capacity, to say, has practically tripled in this facility, plus that there is all the facility is set up to find the right balance between people having the opportunity and teams having the opportunity to work together, or in small meeting rooms, or in areas where teams that sometimes work remote and sometimes work here can meet, but also meet between them.
Excellent stuff. And I noticed the press release, you guys pride yourselves on lead times being one of the best within the industry. I mean, has that kind of been reflected in the desire for a new facility here? Because there has been definitely pressure in terms of lead times within the industry, or has this kind of been a long-term vision with the company growing exponentially? So the need for a new facility, or the two kind of go hand in hand?
The facility has not been put into place specifically to improve our lead times. So say our lead times have been constant really during the past years, and also delivering to all the different parts in the world. But the important is that when we moved to this new facility, we gave continuity to this, and we also during this intensive time of moving from one building to the new building, we constantly continued to secure the lead times that we guarantee to our customers.
And just move things on slowly. The honour last week of being at the International Metal Decorating Association's annual event in Chicago, and Gus Rule from Stolly, one of the speakers there. I know we've had, certainly in the early part of 2023, the industry has slowed a little bit after the aggressive growth we've seen post-COVID and the sustainability message, etc. Things have slowed, but within your role, you're very much focused on the key account side. So I assume you've got a really good handle on the current state of play within the can making industry. So how is that? You're looking after some of these key players. It must be a interesting behind the scenes look at the relative health of the industry.
Yes, I think long term for sure, and that's what you pick up everywhere, is that the forecast is that it will come back. We also know that this year the industry in terms of new projects came a little bit more to a more sudden stop than we had expected. I think we have not yet seen the end of it, but hopefully by the end of next year the activity comes back. At the same time, for us to say, it is now more important than ever to be with our team that we have globally, close to the customers, to be present at the plants, to support them in bringing those lines that have been installed, to help to get the efficiencies from them, to reduce the spoilage rates. And we are doing that with the team with the same enthusiasm as the team had been working during the past years in the industry when the big wave of our projects was coming. We are confident that it will come back. The replacement of the plastic bottles, the recycling rate of cans is going up. Some sustainable growth will come from there. But we also know that the sudden stop has been quite unprecedented and probably higher than what we expected. But we are confident that number of growth will come back. In this moment for us, the importance is to be close to the industry, to optimize our teams, optimize our presence, optimize also our programs that we bring to our customers and that we tailor together with them. So these are all things that we are very busy with working on during this period.
Did this slowdown take you guys by surprise at the end of 2022? I know Can Maker Summit at the tail end of last year, there was still a lot of optimism flying around. Were you guys surprised, or was this always going to be the case?
I'm relatively new to the container industry, so I've understood there always have been, to say, ups and downs. For sure, during the COVID period, a lot of investments have been brought forward. What we see now is that there's a time of stabilizing. So it didn't come as a surprise, but it did come much more sudden than we expected. We had expected that it would come more gradual, and would maybe be gradual in a year and a half and not as sudden off from Can Maker Summit in October to practically the beginning of last year.
But ultimately, it gives us opportunity to take stock, and I know you guys are looking into the optimization and efficiency saving side of things as well.
Yes, to say we work globally together with our customers in this moment to look at how can we reduce spoilage, how can we optimize the lines, how can we also optimize layouts, and that we do together with the OEMs and as well as our end customers.
So it sounds like you're optimistic that the industry is in a good place, not to bounce back, but for growth moving forward in the next few years, because I'm guessing the sustainability message hasn't gone away really. So it's a case of that growth that we've seen can't simply go on forever, can it? So yeah, it sounds like that it's almost a collective pause for breath within the industry, and also Intralox as well, where quite simply the last few years, innovation, new product development maybe took a bit of a backseat because it was all about trying to fulfill orders, capacity issues, supply chain issues. So now it's almost as if, because the industry has taken a pause for breath, that looking into efficiency savings and optimization is really key and important. Be interested to hear perhaps some of the efficiency savings and some of the programs that Intralox have got planned.
Yes, what we are doing, for example, and that's mainly driven in the moment in the US, is really to look together with our core customers, where are the spoilage points in the line, and then we are going really to work on those point by point through the line to see where together we can improve our efficiency, and that depending on the causes of the drops of efficiency, we can help each other to implement those improvements.
Jasper, yeah, just in terms of your key accounts, the key can makers globally, are they as confident as the OEMs in terms of the industry moving forward, and are they looking at plans to improve efficiencies and optimization as well?
Yeah, we see that at this moment, the priority is to get the lines running that have been installed globally during the past period. And that's the main focus. I think for the larger players, the big project activity is still very much reduced at this moment. But yes, we are confident that it will come up. Maybe not as much and in such a big wave as it has been during the past 5 years. But we are very confident that 5, 6, 7% of growth yearly will come back.
And then in terms of Intralox itself, I know you guys are on the global container business. Do you work closely with the other diversified parts of the business so that if one area of the business kind of slows, then another kind of takes up the slack? Is that the business model there? Do you work closely with some of the other organisations within Intralox? I'm just curious about how the business model works here.
We as Intralox, to say we have a completely global presence, and we are in different business units, 3 business units, which are food, logistics and material handling, and industrial. And we as can making fall in the industrial business unit under consumer, on the CPG team, which are consumer packed goods. There is also the beverage team, for example. And as Intralox, we are more than 2,000 employees. We are present in more than 100 countries with direct service, and we serve more than 60,000 customers worldwide. Can making is but a very traditional part within our business, also often an example for other business units because of our presence, because of our relations with the customers or with our partners. And yeah, everything we do in the can making industry, there's a lot of complex relations. Our focus to really be able to work together with our customers also 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's a long-term relationship, so that it's more about long-term vision, long-term strategy as well. So.
Absolutely, and I think that's the beautiful in Intralox, that there's not a specific particular focus on the short term, but everything is looked on long-term and sustainable growth.
And in terms of personally as well, just a bit of background, I had a little look on your LinkedIn earlier, and it seems like you've got a distinguished business career, but also you're going into an international industry with lots of travel, but it seems like you're no stranger to that. So you've been to some interesting places. Off record, you mentioned about sort of extensive travel in Russia and Far East, etc. So any interesting stories that you can share with us?
For sure, traveling has been part of my life, probably more or less always, but for the last 24 years of my working life. So that is definitely not new. Left the Netherlands when I was 21, where I grew up. And then I moved to Spain, where I worked and lived 10 years. I met Jordana, my wife there. And now we live happily in Milan since 14 years, together with my son Alessandro of 10. So yes, I've been in packaging and packaging automation and robotics. So it's also interesting to bring the ideas of a production which is much more focused on grouping products and bringing it into carton and to boxes to the continuous process of can production. But yes, in the end, a lot of the principles are similar.
I'm interested there, you talk about you've been in robotics and the automation side of the packaging industry. Last week at IMBA, I know I've mentioned it earlier with Gus Wheel's presentation, but another key topic was the advent of ghost plants without the need for humans operating the plants. I'm just wondering your take on things. Are we close to that point with fully automated production lines, or do you think we're some way away yet? Certainly compared to perhaps other industries that are a little bit more advanced. I know the criticism sometimes of this industry that it's uber conservative, so changes happen in increments rather than sort of revolutionary change. So do you think, are we ready to fully embrace AI and robotics automation, or are we some way away yet?
It's difficult for me to give, to say after this short period, a complete overview, but you see a lot of focus on improvement of line controls, data collection. I've seen, for example, in the packaging side of things when I was working there, that, some of the plants really operate with nearly lights out and a very reduced workforce also, so with very high efficiencies. Yes, probably that will come at some point also in the can industry, but I also think that at this moment we are not yet there as far as I can oversee with the experience I have now.
Just to move the conversation back to, the comments you made earlier when you suggested about it being a fairly mature market with some individuals within the business potentially retiring in years to come. So I'm just wondering how Intralox are looking to maybe leverage that, and is that something that certainly the container team are mindful of, with the can making market being a fairly mature market as well? And I'm just interested to see how Intralox are bringing the next generation of the employees, apprentices into the business.
Within the teams that we have in Intralox, it's quite common that people move from one team to another. I think we have in this moment a strong global can-making team with presence in all the different regions. We are very industry specialized. That's all across Intralox, because you can only serve your customers best when you really know the particularities of a certain industry. So all our teams are industry specific. And for the can-making industry, we have a very good combination of people that have been 13, 15, maybe 20 years within the industry, application engineers in the different regions that know everything from the beginning to the end of the line, together with some new people coming in, also bringing in new views, which I have seen so far is also welcomed a lot by our customers and the can-making industry.
Excellent stuff. And also, we've discussed a few issues here. I mean, is there any trends or any issues that you guys are mindful of moving forward in the next few years? I know we've talked about kind of our predictions for the industry, things like that. I mean, is there any other issues that the company are particularly mindful of in the global container market? Is there any topics that are kind of high on the agenda when you have your global meetings as an organisation?
Our presence is, very important in the can-making industry. I don't know an exact percentage, but very high percentage of the belts in the can-making industry is Intralox. And that gives also a big responsibility to bring new innovations into the industry, because that strong position where Intralox is present from the beginning to the end of the line has been built throughout the years, with bringing each time new innovations to the can plants and to the industry. For example, this year is a continuation of what has been done before. We have introduced our plate-free transfer conveyors. We see the best dead plate is no dead plate. We are working with all the larger accounts and also with the OEMs to implement and hopefully consolidate that new technology in the coming year. That for sure is an important one.
Yeah, so it's very much a continuation of good work from predecessors, and
exactly.
It strikes me here that Intralox is very much built on service, keeping close to your key customers and going above and beyond, because it's otherwise in industries it's easy to be dictated by price, particularly when the global market we're in for all business, where we're seeing inflationary pressures, supply chain pressures, and it's easy for industries to turn to those that are the cheapest. So it's by having that different level, that unique selling point as a business is obviously crucial.
All our customers are working 24/7, and for sure in the can industry. So it's enormously important to have that service, to be able to apply a belt and especially for all the standard belts, to be able to supply those and ship those between 4-8 hours. teams coming in the evening or during weekends to be able to keep that service level, but it also goes training to looking on how to build certain business cases. There's really a lot behind it, but for sure also the giving a very constant quality and very high service levels.
Just moving the conversation to summary points, really. So overall, we're seeing a lot of positivity from this conversation, and it seems like Intralox is very much looking forward into the future, and not least with this fantastic new location that we're sitting in today. So just your overriding, perhaps your summary notes of where we are as an industry, and also are you optimistic for the next 5 to 10 years, or do you think there's some way to go with the challenges that we've seen in 2023?
I'm very confident the can industry on mid to long term will have that sustainable growth. Our position there is very strong, driven by innovations that my predecessors have brought during the years. So for us, it's important to secure the service level, continue to bring innovations and opportunities to create value in the industry. And with that, also not unimportant to have good personal relationships throughout all the companies active in the can industry.
Excellent stuff. And so your summary notes, you confident that the industry is in a good place to tackle the challenges that lie ahead, but also speaking to the key accounts, they're fully invested in the industry. So there's optimism. Yeah, we're looking forward with optimism rather than with caution.
Yeah, I think it looks as for sure next year and probably also 2025 will be still slow in new project investments due to the number of projects that has been realized. But to say on the mid to long term, I think we are all confident and have seen the benefits that have cans opposite to PET or glass bottles. So I'm confident together with the industry that will come back.
Excellent stuff. And just from the Metal Packages perspective, thanks very much for inviting us in today. We've covered some interesting areas: supply chain issues, robotics, automation, travel. I suppose that kind of sums up the industry. That there's lots of fascinating topics that are arising within the industry, and not least at Intralox, where it seems that there's lots of innovation and lots of opportunities for success within the industry. So Jasper, it's been a pleasure. It's a shame we couldn't end this conversation with vodka shots like we did when we met each other at Campac, which was another story entirely, perhaps for another podcast. But I look forward to chatting again with you soon.
Thank you, Alex. Hope that you will be back soon. Yes.